Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. My name is Arifi, and welcome to 1001 American Muslim Nights, where I talk about living our deen right here in the US of A. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Welcome to this episode of 1001 American Muslim Nights. So today I'm going to tell you a story about kind of a strange situation I've found myself in over the last few years. The same man has proposed to me 4 different times. I don't know this man. I don't know his name. I don't know where he works. I don't really know anything about him. I mean, he doesn't know my name. He doesn't know really anything about me either. What he does know is that I'm clearly Muslim and that he is single. The first time I ran into him, I was in a grocery store, and you probably can't tell this because I'm on a video, but I am a tiny little woman. I am barely over 5 feet tall, and actually to be in the frame, I'm actually sitting on 2 cushions right now. So I wanted to get something off of a high shelf in the grocery store, so I opened the little freezer and climbed it and was hanging from the top shelf like a squirrel, trying to reach the delicious gluten-free waffles that were back there. And while I'm hanging back there looking oh so sophisticated and elegant, I hear from behind me, "Assalamu alaikum, sister. I am a very serious man interested in getting to know you for the purposes of marriage." And then he went on to list, as if it was a job interview, his whole entire resume, where he worked, how much money he made. And meanwhile, the whole time I am standing there in the freezer, awkwardly trying to move my hand so that my wedding ring shows and he can just kind of get the picture and I don't have to actually interact with him because I didn't really know what to say at that point. So instead, I finally just ended up climbing down after he finished telling me about how many brothers and sisters he had and the fact that they were all married. None of them were divorced. Everything was absolutely wonderful in his family. They were all very strong practitioners of religion. He only wanted to get to know me for the purposes of marriage. So I finally turn around and I'm like, "Oh, well, that's really flattering. I'm already married, actually. That's my husband down there. I'm not interested. Thank you very much for your time." So he's like, "Do you know any other women, anyone, any other Muslim woman that is single that might be interested in getting married?" I was like, "No, all of my friends are old. We're all already married. And most of them have kids. Sorry, I'm not the right person for you." He's like, "I'm never going to get married." I was like, "Well, sometimes there's matrimonial events where they chaperone speed dating things. Maybe you could do something like that." And he was like, No, I cannot. Those things cost $100. I cannot do that." Which I had no idea about because I actually kind of cheated with marrying my husband. My husband is related to one of my best friends from college, so I had a really halal way of getting to know him. And I went into the marriage knowing that my mother-in-law and father-in-law are amazing people, which is a gift a lot of people don't get to have. Anyway, I thought that was done. We already knew the whole picture. Story was over. Everyone's a little bit embarrassed, but everything moves on. The next time I meet this man is just a couple months later. I am walking along just a normal street in my town, but it's kind of a busy one. It's one of those 4-lane highways. And all of a sudden I hear cars honking and squealing brakes, and I look over and there's this guy dodging between the cars like he's playing Frogger with himself. And none of you are old enough to know what Frogger is, but it's a game where you tried to get a little frog across the street, not get him squished, and it was impossible. But alhamdulillah, this man did not get squished. This man got over to me, and then he said, "Sister, I am a very serious Muslim man, interested in getting to know you for the purposes of marriage." And I was like, "Oh my God, it's you once again. No, I'm sorry that you risked your life to run over to the first available hijabi that you saw, but I'm not available, and I'm still married, still very married, still can't help you, still don't really have single Muslim friends in the area. Sorry, buddy. I'm so sorry." And again, he was like, "Oh my God, I keep talking to women that I know are Muslim, And I can't find anyone who's single. My family doesn't live in this country. I can't have them set someone up for me. How am I going to get married? And that's the thing. I legitimately don't know. I don't know how he's going to get married. The next time I ran into him, I was in a hardware store of all places. I do not like hardware stores. I'm a very stereotypical girly girl. Hardware stores are boring. There's nothing pretty there. Everything is either orange or brown. I was bored, so I wandered away from my husband, who was actually looking at something we needed to fix something in the house. It was really important, but I kind of forgot what it is because, again, boring. I don't care. And while I was in the hardware store, where I would never be just for fun, I hear the same voice come up behind me, and he says, "Assalamu alaikum, sister. I am a very serious Muslim man, interested in getting to know you for the purposes of marriage." And I turn around, and I was like, "Assalamu alaikum. We just did this. We literally just did this a month ago. I'm still married. That right there, same guy from the grocery store. That is my husband." And again, he was like, "I'm never gonna get married." And I really hope he's wrong. I don't know how people get married without help. I don't know what you do when you're a minority. I got married in the Middle East. I was lucky. It was easy for me to find someone. There was a bounty of Muslim men who were interested in getting married to Muslim women. There were a bounty of Muslim women interested in getting married to Muslim men. What do we do here in the US? How on earth do people find each other? I know there are those chaperone speed dating events at ISNA and sometimes at local mosques and Islamic centers, but apparently they're expensive, and apparently really, how well can you get to know somebody in a quick speed dating situation where there's a ton of other people just milling around just interested in finding someone else? What are you supposed to do? Go on 51st chaperone dates? I don't understand. And I wish that I had something to tell him, because I'm pretty sure I'm gonna run into him again, because I just ran into him last week. And I was wearing not something this nice. The only thing I had on my face was sunscreen. There was no eyeliner or anything to make me look beautiful and young. I was wearing what's called a princess scarf, the hijab amira, which is literally like a headband and then a matching piece you pull over your neck. It's a cheating scarf. It's for little girls for the most part. I did not look fancy. I did not look pretty. This is not a story about my own vanity. I know what I looked like. I know what it took to make me look like this. And there's a ton of wrinkles hiding underneath this scarf. I mean, I'm being very careful here. I'm very aware of what I'm working with. But on that day, again, on campus, as I'm trying to walk from one meeting to another, I hear, "Assalamu alaikum, sister. I am a very serious Muslim man, interested in getting to know you for the purposes of marriage." And we went through the same thing all over again. So what do I tell this guy the next time I see him? How does this man with no family in this country, who doesn't seem to have any Muslim friends who can hook him up, who doesn't seem to be involved enough in his community to ask them for help, what do I tell him the next time I see him? What would you do in this situation? Please help me. Help me help this brother. Hit me up on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. We're all at Dean TV USA. Please email me directly at arifi@dean.tv. I would love to hear from you, and I would love to be able to help people out and get a discussion going on how on earth we get married when we're such a minority. Anyway, that's my story. I hope you enjoyed it. Assalamu alaikum. Have a great night.
This Dean TV video was brought to you in part by Penny Appeal USA, Small Change, Big Difference, by Islamic Relief, Working Together for a Better World, and by Guidance Residential, the #1 Islamic home financer in the U.S.